So, okay, and moving on. Now, this is a point I've been wanting to ask you. Don't you think that the technical elements of a film also matter? Because from the interviews that I've read of yours, you often say that technically it's great and all that, but the resonance and the emotional and the cerebral aspect is more important. But like, I'll give you an example. Like for me, the production design or the atmosphere or the pacing of the film are equally important. Like my favorite film of all time is Ridley Scott's Alien,
Yeah.
and then there's David Cronenberg's The Fly. You know, and to me, what made these films so special was the look, the feel that it's happening right next door to you. You know,
Well, let's take a look.
so
Well, let's talk about Alien. Alien was Ridley Scott.
yeah,
Alien and Blade Runner are considered usually his two best films. Alien is
oh
a
yeah,
much better film than Blade Runner, though. They're both
yeah,
beautifully designed. They both have a lot of. Why is Alien a better film? Because even though it has this monster, and even though it's based on a B film from the
yeah,
1950s U.S., you
mm,
know this Ripley character. When that scared woman goes down and there's the little
yeah,
cat there, you know what's going to happen, but you've gotten to know her. Pull
mm,
back and think of Blade Runner. Do we really know much about the Harrison Ford character, the crazy woman, the celebrity, the actress Sean, whatever her name was, who played the femme? Whoops. So I was talking about the difference between Alien versus Blade Runner.
mm,
Um,
yeah,
now, to me, yeah, Blade Runner is an interesting film to look at. I can admire the effects, but there's that
mm,
famous little speechlet by Rutger Hauer, the robot at the
yeah,
end, where he talks about the gates of this and tears lost.
mm,
Well, that's
yeah,
so trite. It's so poorly written, and yet so many people will praise this as some deep moment. Think about a pop song or whatnot. Pop songs are based upon triteness. I love her so, cold as ice,
mm,
this and that. But what makes a
yeah,
pop song, what carries a pop song if it's good, is that it has a
mm,
good beat, it has some complex rhythms, or whatever it might be. You can't
mm,
call something great if it just has one or two great aspects to it, especially if they're
mm.
technical aspects. Have you ever seen the Bresson film? I mentioned Robert Bresson, O Hussar Balthazar. It's about basically the life and death
Yeah,
of
yeah.
of
The,
a
the
mule.
the donkey one,
Yeah,
right?
the donkey.
Where
Yeah,
he,
a donkey.
yeah,
So, I
yeah,
mean, this is as simple as you can get, and yet the ending where the donkey seems to be about to die and doesn't actually die when the film ends, but is still living. That
mm,
there's a powerful emotion there with that simplicity. Now
mm,
that's not to say that you can have grand complexions. 2001 is one of the greatest films ever, and it's
yeah,
not a dull, boring film unless you're a dull, boring person and all you need is
yeah,
explosions and whatnot. 2001
yeah,
blows Blade Runner out of the water in terms of being a film.
mm, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, with Blade Runner, like I've read your review of Blade Runner, and one thing you say is there are not emotions. There's not much emotions, right? I mean,
Mm.
with the Deckard character or all the. But I thought it's in the future, and they're supposed to be like that, replicant or robotic. Just. So don't
Oh,
you think that applies?
oh, to a certain degree, but uh, and I'm not big on emotion in film, but
Mm,
the main problem I think with that film is there's nothing there to really hook a viewer in to the characters
mm,
because you have basically if Ford's character might himself be a replicant or a robot, he's unemotional. He's sort of like Mike Hammer, which was a 1950s detective set in the
mm,
future, 100 years in the future. You've got the robot girl, you've got the Rutger Hauer character, a handful of other characters. Again, compare that to Alien, where you have this crew that in the first 20 or 30 minutes, before we even
yeah,
see the monster, we get to know how they relate to each other.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, great characterization, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's why I love Alien. Of course, it's my favorite film, but I also love Blade Runner. So yeah. Um, and one reference I got from you were the Val Newton films. The Curse of the Cat People.
Yeah.
And then I saw one more, the Black Zombie one.
Okay. Yeah. It's been years since I've
And
seen
that.
that, but
Oh yeah, but